As we continue celebrating our 70th anniversary all month long here on News 12, we're talking to some of the folks who made this TV station what it is today. And for the better part of a decade, our next guest was the Vice President and General Manager here, and it is Mark Keown. Mark, good to see you.
Hey, Chip. You're the last man standing. It worked for me.
And that goes back a long time.
Yeah.
You were here for almost 10 years. What are some of the things that stand out in your mind that we were able to accomplish here during that 10-year period?
We did a lot of really special stories. We took a dozen people from Chattanooga to Russia when the Soviet Union fell apart, and then those Russians came back and visited us here in Chattanooga. We followed the Tennessee Aquarium. We decided to own the Tennessee Aquarium story. We went to Texas, where they made trees out of concrete. We went to all the places where they were growing the fish that we might have here eventually in our aquarium. And then probably the biggest thing that we did was a month-long series called I Believe. We've talked about Chattanooga as being the buckle of the Bible Belt, and so we explored the religious activities of the people who lived here.
And you covered every sort of faith and every sort of denomination.
One week we went to, 5 different types of churches.
Right.
We went to a Ku Klux Klan rally in Rome, Georgia. I piled my uncle and my son in the car, and we went down and we filmed it. And my film was the film that was used. And then we found some snake handlers, some signs of them here in Hamilton County, but also down in Kingston, Georgia.
Right. How do you think TV has changed since you left here? If you had to sum it up in 30 seconds or less, what would it be as far as the changes go?
Well, I'm afraid I'm a bit of an old fogey. I'd critique it in the negative, in that it's just not as pervasive into its local community. But talking about Channel 12 in 70 years, the arrival of the one-man band, people shooting their own video and so forth.
Right.
And then you're holding the Luther commemorative piece, and that was a big deal here, being with him all those years.
What was it like to have a guy working alongside you or for you of Luther's statue?
It was amazing. I don't know whether I'll tell the brief story. He used to come in to see me every morning. He worked for the radio station.
Right.
I controlled the building, but he worked for the people in the radio station. He used to come into my office every morning and say, "Hey, boss, there's a man in the lobby with a 55-gallon drum of Preparation H for you. Where do you want me to have him put it?" And the joke was told over and over and over for 10 years.
And it always stayed funny every time he told it.
Yeah.
It always did. I was looking back during a large part of that time that I worked for you here. You were the one who brought email into this building. You were the one who put computers on everybody's desk. And now we take email and computers for granted, but back then, you're the one who brought it into this building. It's an honor to talk to you on the air here after all of your time here and in other TV markets as well. Thanks so much for sharing.
Well, it was the most fun I ever had.
Was it really?
Yeah. And
with your extensive broadcasting background, that's saying something. You didn't say that your 4th biggest thing was hiring me, but we'll save that for another time. Mark Keown, good to see you.